Hello students, till now we learn about chemical properties of acids and bases. We have also seen the neutralization reaction in which acid reacts with base to form salts. In this video we will learn about some common salts. So let's start with what is salt. We know that salts are obtained by the reaction between acid and base, that is due to neutralization reaction. So these salts are having positive ion of the base and negative ion of the acid. We will see one example. When HCl reacts with sodium hydroxide, it will form NaCl. It will form NaCl, common salt, and water. Here this Cl is the negative ion of acid. So HCl is acid, NaOH is base. This chloride is negative ion of the acid and sodium is the positive ion of base. So what we can say, that salts are formed due to neutralization reaction, and these salts are having positive ion of the base and negative ion of the acid. So we can define, and this one is what? It is a double displacement reaction, because in this reaction the exchange of ions takes place between acid and base. So the salts are formed due to double displacement reaction between acid and base. Salts contain one positive ion and one negative ion other than H plus and OH minus ions. So we can define salts as, salts are ionic compounds which contains one cation other than H plus ion. So it is having one cation, that is positive ion, and one anion other than OH minus ions. So here sodium chloride is common salt having one cation as sodium and one anion as chloride. We will see one more salt, that is magnesium sulfate, MgSO4. So this is a salt, and what is salt? Ionic compounds which contains one cation other than H plus ions and one anion other than OH minus ions. So here we are having cation Mg2 plus, magnesium ion is cation, and SO4 2 minus. So this magnesium salt is formed by one cation, that is magnesium, and one anion, that is sulfate. So this is definition of salt, that is salts are ionic compounds which contain one cation other than hydrogen. So except hydronium ion, except hydrogen ion, it contains one cation and one anion other than OH minus ion. It is called as salt. Next is family of salts. So what is mean by family of salts? As we know, in our family we are having same surname or something common in all family members. Like that, the salts having same positive or negative radicals are said to belong to the same family. Here radical means positive or negative ions. For example, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, ammonium chloride. I will write their formula: sodium chloride NaCl, then potassium chloride, ammonium chloride. All these salts belong to same family because they are having same negative ion, that is chloride, and so we can say that these salts belong to the same family of chlorides. Similarly, the salts like sodium chloride, sodium sulfate, sodium nitrate, all these are also the salts of same family because they are having same positive ion, that is sodium, because here Na plus Cl minus, Na plus SO4 minus. So These salts belong to the same family, that is family of sodium. Next is pH of salts. For this we will see activity 2.14. Students, keep your textbook with you while watching this video. In this, collect some salt samples like sodium chloride, potassium nitrate, aluminum chloride, zinc sulfate, copper sulfate, sodium acetate, etc. Check their solubility in water. Use distilled water only, because distilled water is the pure form of water which contains only H2O. No impurity is present. Now, so all salts are soluble in the water. Check the action of these solutions on litmus and find the pH using pH paper. Which of the salts are acidic, basic or neutral? So in this activity you will find that sodium chloride and potassium nitrate are neutral salts, NaCl and KNO3. Sodium chloride and potassium nitrate are neutral salts having pH 7. Aluminum chloride, then zinc sulfate, copper sulfate are acidic salts having pH less than 7, and sodium carbonate, sodium acetate, sodium hydrogen carbonate are the basic salts having pH more than 7. From this activity, we will come to know that though salts are formed by neutralization reaction, but then also pH of salt may be acidic, basic or neutral, depending upon the reaction between strong acid, strong base, weak acid or weak base. So, depending on the type of acid and type of base, the nature of salt is there. As we learn about strong acid and strong base. What is strong acid? The acid which releases H plus ions in more quantity are called as strong acids. And weak acids, the acids which ionizes, which does not ionize completely, are called as weak acids. Similarly, strong bases ionizes completely into OH minus ions, but weak bases do not dissociate, do not ionizes completely into OH minus ions. So, in weak acid or weak base with ions, with H plus or OH minus ions, some molecules are also present. But strong acid, strong base ionizes completely, dissociates completely into H plus and OH minus ions respectively. So, salts of strong acid and strong base are neutral with pH value 7. So, if we will take strong acid and strong base, strong acid and strong base, then the salt will be neutral, plus it will form water. So, we will take one example. Same example we will take of sodium chloride. Here we will take HCl, which is a strong acid which reacts with sodium hydroxide, which is a strong base, and it will give us NaCl, because here the displacement, double displacement reaction will takes place. It will form NaCl plus H2O, and pH of this NaCl is 7. It is a neutral salt. H plus ions are responsible for acidic characters and OH minus are responsible for basic characters. And in this condition, as both are strong acid and strong base, they will cancel each other, or the characters of acids and base will cancel, and it will form neutral salt having pH 7, like distilled water. See, distilled water is also having pH 7 because it contains equal amount of H plus and OH minus ions which forms water, and so it does not contain ions, and that's why electricity cannot be passed through distilled water. So, when strong acid reacts with strong base, it will form neutral salt, because the quantity of H plus and OH minus ions are equal which forms water, and the salt will be neutral. On the other hand, salt of strong acid and weak base are acidic with pH value less than 7, because here strong acid will release all H plus ions, but base is weak and it will not release or dissociate all OH minus ions. So in this case, number of H plus ions is more, and as we know, H plus ions are responsible for acidic nature, and so salt formed is acidic in nature. So when strong acid reacts with weak base, it will form acidic salt. It will form acidic salt and water, because here strong acid will dissociate large quantity of H plus ions, and weak base cannot release the OH minus ions in large quantity, and so the number of H plus ions will be more in that solution, and due to this the salt which will form is having acidic nature. We will take example such as when HCl, obviously it is dilute HCl. When dilute HCl reacts with zinc hydroxide, OH, zinc hydroxide, it will give us, so double displacement reaction, it will give us zinc chloride, ZnCl2 plus 2H2O. To balance this reaction, we will write here 2HCl. 2HCl plus ZnOH twice gives ZnCl2 plus 2H2O. This is mild acetic salt having pH 5.5 to 6. 5.5 to 6. Got it? Now, salts of strong base and weak acid are basic in nature. If the salt of strong base and weak acid is basic salt, it will be basic salt plus water. Same reason, here we have taken strong base, so it will dissociate large amount of OH minus ions, it will dissociate completely into OH minus ions, and weak acid cannot dissociate completely, so the number of OH ions will be more, and the salt which will form will be basic in nature. We will take example. For example, when sodium hydroxide, here sodium hydroxide is what? It is a strong base, reacts with carbonic acid H2CO3. It is a weak acid. So when strong base reacts with weak acid, it will form salt, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaHCO3. NaHCO3 plus H2O. So this sodium hydrogen carbonate is baking soda, which we are using in bakery products, in cake or in pakoras. So this is what? Baking soda, and this is basic salt having pH value more than 7, because in this case sodium hydroxide is strong base, it get dissociate completely into OH minus ions, but carbonic acid as it is weak acid, so it does not release large number of H plus ions, it releases less H plus ions, and so number of hydroxide ions are more in the quantity, and resultant salt, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate, is basic salt. Now we will discuss about common salt, that is sodium chloride. As you all know, it is formed by combination of hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide solution, and it is known as sodium chloride, NaCl, sodium chloride also known as common salt. As both acid and base are strong, so it is a neutral salt. Just now we learned that NaCl forms due to the reaction of HCl and sodium hydroxide. Both are strong acid and strong base, and so the pH of sodium chloride is 7. It is a neutral salt. Now question arises, from where we obtained this common salt? Yes, we obtain these common salts from seawater. Seawater contains many salts dissolved in it. Common salt is separated from those salts. From ground also we can obtain rock salt. So what is rock salts? See, the soluble salts dissolve in seawater deposits as solid in the form of large crystals which turns brown due to impurities, and these deposits are called as rock salts. So rock salts are pinkish color or brown color salts which are formed and which is having impurities. Due to those impurities it is pink or brown in color. Now we'll discuss about common salt. See, common salt is very important. We use it in our food, which help us for increasing taste of our food. Also, it is important for different metabolic processes of our body. It is also used as a preservative in pickles, in meat and chicken. To preserve meat, chicken, we are using this common salt as a preservative. The common salt thus obtained is an important raw material for various materials of daily use such as sodium hydroxide, baking soda, washing soda, bleaching powder and many more. So let's see how one substance can be used for making all these different substances. First one is sodium hydroxide. Now we'll discuss how this sodium chloride is used to form sodium hydroxide. See, when an aqueous solution of sodium chloride, which is also called as brine, so aqueous solution of sodium chloride is called as brine. We are taking this brine in electrochemical cell. So this is electrochemical cell in which we are taking brine, that is aqueous solution of sodium chloride. When it is electrolyzed, it decomposes to form sodium hydroxide. So we will carry out the electrolytic decomposition of sodium chloride, and due to that we can obtain NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide. In this process, chlorine gas is liberated at anode and hydrogen gas is liberated at cathode. Anode is positively charged electrode and cathode is negatively charged electrode. As chlorine ions are negatively charged, so they will get deposit on the positive electrode and hydrogen will get deposit on the negative electrode. So remember, positive ions will get deposit on the negative electrode and negative ions will get deposit on the positive electrode, because we know there is attraction between opposite charges. As we will carry out electrolysis of NaCl, it will decompose to form NaOH, sodium hydroxide. The reaction for this is 2NaCl plus 2H2O, which gives 2NaOH plus chlorine gas and plus hydrogen gas will evolve. See, this process is also called as chlor-alkali process, since the products formed are chlor, that is chlorine, and alkali for sodium hydroxide. So this process is called as chlor-alkali process, which forms chlorine, sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. The three products, hydrogen, chlorine and sodium hydroxide, produced in this process are useful. Uses of sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is used for degrazing metals, then in the preparation of soap and detergents. Sodium hydroxide is used to clean the metals, to degrease to remove oil and grease of the metals. Also it is used as a raw material for the soap and detergent, in purification of petroleum, for making artificial textile fibers. The sodium hydroxide can be used, and also as a reagent in laboratory for making cotton unshrinkable. The sodium hydroxide is used, and in paper industry also. So these are the uses of NaOH. Now we will see uses of hydrogen. Hydrogen can be used as rocket fuel. We can use liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen as the fuel. Also it is used in the hydrogenation of vegetable oil. We can carry out hydrogenation of vegetable oil to form margarine. Margarine is a substitute of butter. It is made from vegetable oil and salt. So here we are carrying out hydrogenation reaction of that vegetable oil, and it will form butter like substance called as margarine. Then this hydrogen gas can be used in the formation of ammonia. As we know, ammonia is a fertilizer which is used in agricultural field and also in different industries. Formation of ammonia by Haber's process. For that we required hydrogen. So in this process, nitrogen, gaseous nitrogen and gaseous hydrogen is used to form NH3. Here we are taking nitrogen plus hydrogen 3H2, and it will give NH3 to NH3. So these are the uses of hydrogen. Next is uses of chlorine. Chlorine is used in water treatment as it is disinfectant, as it is a germicide. So it is used for sterilization of water. It is used as a disinfectant in swimming pools, in the manufacture of PVC, in the manufacture of CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons. But now CFCs are banned because these are ozone depleting substances. In manufacture of bleaching powder, in the manufacture of pesticides also. So in this chlor-alkali process we obtained three products, that is sodium hydroxide, chlorine and hydrogen. All are having different uses. Only from electrolysis of NaCl we can obtain all these different products which are useful in our day-to-day lives. Electrolysis of brine gives sodium hydroxide. As the brine, we are taking this ब्राइन इन इलेक्ट्रोकेमिकल सेल. जैसे ही हम इसे इलेक्ट्रोकेमिकल सेल में लेते हैं, जैसे हम इलेक्ट्रिक करंट पास करेंगे, ये NaCl डिसोसिएट होगा Na प्लस एंड Cl माइनस आयंस में. और एक्वस सॉल्यूशन है तो वाटर मॉलिक्यूल भी डिसोसिएट हो जाएंगे H प्लस एंड OH माइनस आयंस में. यहाँ ये जो मेम्ब्रेन दिख रहा है, दिस इज आयन सिलेक्टिव मेम्ब्रेन. This ion selective membrane allows sodium to move freely but prevents chlorine and hydroxide ion from diffusing across, so that it will form NaOH near the cathode, and Cl, chlorine gas, will deposit on the positive electrode, that is an anode, and hydrogen gas will deposit at the negative electrode, that is cathode. So by the electrolysis of sodium chloride, that is common salt, we can obtain sodium hydroxide, chlorine and hydrogen gas. All three products are important in our day-to-day life, very useful in our day-to-day life. So this is one example that from common salt, how we can use this common salt as a raw material for different chemicals. Next is bleaching powder. Just now we learn about chlor-alkali process, in which we can obtain hydrogen gas, chlorine gas and sodium hydroxide. Now this chlorine gas, which is produced during electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride, that is brine, This chlorine gas is used for the manufacture of bleaching powder. Bleaching powder is produced by the action of chlorine on dry slaked lime. You know slaked lime is calcium hydroxide. Common name of calcium hydroxide is slaked lime. So when this chlorine gas will act or will react with dry slaked lime, it will form bleaching powder. Bleaching powder is represented as CaOCl2, that is calcium hypochloride or calcium oxychloride. What is the chemical name of bleaching powder? Calcium hypochloride or calcium oxychloride. How it is formed? When the chlorine gas will react with calcium hydroxide, it will form bleaching powder and water. So the reaction is given CaOH twice plus Cl2 gives CaOCl2 plus H2O. The CaOCl2 calcium oxychloride is the bleaching powder which we are using in disinfecting water or in the swimming pools. Now we will see uses of this bleaching powder. This bleaching powder is used for bleaching cotton and linen in textile industries. Also, it is used for bleaching wood pulp in paper factories. So, for giving white color or shiny bright color to the fibers, to the paper, this bleaching powder is used as a bleaching agent. And for bleaching washed clothes in laundry, this bleaching powder is used. It is also used as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries and for disinfecting drinking water to make it free of germs. So for disinfection, for as a disinfecting agent, this bleaching powder can be used. Students, you have to understand preparation and uses of all the salts which we will discuss in this lesson. Next is baking soda. It is commonly used in kitchens for making tasty crispy pakoras. Sometimes it is added for faster cooking. The chemical name of this baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate having formula NaHCO3. It is produced using sodium chloride as one of the raw material. So now we are trying to understand how this sodium chloride, common salt, is used for making different substances. We learn about sodium hydroxide, how sodium hydroxide is formed by using aqueous sodium chloride, that is brine, how bleaching powder is formed. And now we will discuss baking soda. So it is also formed by using sodium chloride as one of the raw material. Now see how this baking soda or sodium hydrogen carbonate is formed. When carbon dioxide gas is passed through an aqueous solution of sodium chloride and further saturated with ammonia gas, it forms baking soda. So how this baking soda is formed? That aqueous solution of NaCl, aqueous, so I am writing here H2O, aqueous solution of sodium chloride, and from this solution carbon dioxide gas is passed and then this solution is saturated with the ammonia NH3. Then we obtain NaHCO3, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate. With that one more product we will obtain, that is ammonium chloride NH4Cl. So this is the preparation of baking soda, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate. Another method is also there. In this method we can form baking soda by passing carbon dioxide gas in aqueous solution of sodium carbonate. So from bypassing carbon dioxide gas from the sodium carbonate solution, sodium carbonate Na2CO3, aqueous solution of sodium carbonate, when carbon dioxide gas is passed through this aqueous solution of sodium carbonate, we can obtain NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is baking soda. In activity 2.14, we come to know that this pH of the sodium hydrogen carbonate is more than 7. That means it is a mild non-corrosive basic salt, and so it is used as antacid. Also, it is used in milk to shift pH of milk from 6 to slightly alkaline, to avoid to turn it sour or to avoid spoiling of milk. We are adding a pinch of baking soda in the milk. So because this baking soda is basic in nature and it will neutralizes the lactic acid and it will not convert into curd easily. So in milk we are adding a pinch of baking soda to shift its pH from pH 6 to slightly alkaline. This reaction takes place when this baking soda is heated during cooking. It forms sodium carbonate. This sodium carbonate is bitter in taste because it is basic in nature. So this sodium carbonate is formed when this baking soda is heated in the food, and as it is basic in nature, it is bitter in taste. Now we will see uses of sodium hydrogen carbonate. First use is what? It is used in making baking powder. This baking powder is mixture of baking soda and mild edible acid such as tartaric acid. So in baking powder, baking soda is present, with that it is having mild acid such as tartaric acid. On heating, it forms carbon dioxide, water and sodium salt of acid. And due to the carbon dioxide produced in this reaction, it causes bread or cake to rise, making them soft and spongy. And so, while making cakes, pastries, the baking powder is used instead of baking soda, because baking powder is having tartaric acid in it. It reacts with sodium carbonate. As I told, the sodium carbonate, it is basic in nature and so it is bitter in taste, and the acid or H plus ions present in acid neutralizes this sodium carbonate produced during the decomposition. If only sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is baking soda, is used in making cake, then sodium carbonate formed due to heat and gives bitter taste to cake. So remember, we are using baking powder because this baking powder can neutralizes this sodium carbonate and it will not give bitter taste to the cake or to the pastries, and so we are using baking powder instead of baking soda, or both can be used. Next use is sodium hydrogen carbonate is also an ingredient in antacid. As it is basic salt, so it can be used as antacid to neutralize the acidity in stomach. It also used in soda acid fire extinguisher. See, the soda acid fire extinguisher is a household fire extinguisher. It contains sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is baking soda, and sulfuric acid. And by the reaction of this baking soda and sulfuric acid, it forms sodium sulfate. We'll write the reaction: NaOH plus H2SO4. It will form sodium sulfate, Na2SO4 plus 2CO2 plus 2H2O. So in this reaction, the cutoff of oxygen supply takes place. Carbon dioxide liberated by the reaction of acid and soda, which is non-supporter of combustion. So this carbon dioxide will not support the combustion, and the contact of oxygen, supply of oxygen will stop due to this soda acid fire extinguisher due to this reaction, and so this household fire extinguisher is used, in which baking soda is used. Next is washing soda. Another chemical that can be obtained from sodium chloride is sodium carbonate 10 hydrated. Its common name is washing soda. See, baking soda is having formula NaHCO3 and washing soda is having formula Na2CO3 dot 10H2. This 10 is the water of crystallization that I will explain you. You have seen above that sodium carbonate can be obtained by heating baking soda, and recrystallization of sodium carbonate gives washing soda. So when this reaction takes place, we heat sodium bicarbonate, it forms sodium carbonate, and by the recrystallization of this sodium carbonate, washing soda can be formed. Recrystallization means what? The addition of water molecule. So in this we are adding 10 water molecule and it is called as recrystallization. Water molecules are added to this sodium carbonate to form washing soda, and this is called as sodium carbonate decahydrated. Deca means 10. So 10 water molecules are there, so it is called as decahydrated. What does this 10 water signify? Does it make sodium carbonate wet? This 10 water molecule is called as water of crystallization or water of hydration. It is for the formation of crystal from the aqueous solution. Whenever the crystals of salts are formed, then these water molecules are used for the formation of crystals from their saturated aqueous solution, and this is called as water of crystallization. Sodium carbonate and sodium hydrogen carbonate are useful chemicals for many industrial purposes as well. See, here are some uses of washing soda. Sodium carbonate, that is washing soda, is used in glass, soap and paper industries. It is used in manufacture of sodium compounds such as borax. Borax is boric powder, which is sodium tetraborate, used to get rid of stains, molds and kill insects like ants and cockroaches. So it is used as a insecticide. You can see in your kitchen that your mother might be using it to kill cockroaches or ants, which contains the that boric powder or borax. So this borax is prepared or manufactured from this sodium carbonate, washing soda. Sodium carbonate can be used as a cleaning agent for domestic purposes. So its common name is what? Washing soda, and so it is used as for different cleaning purposes. It is used for removing permanent hardness of water. To make water soft, this washing soda is used. Now we will discuss about water of crystallization in detail. See, are the crystals of salts really dry? For this we will see activity 2.15. In this, heat a few crystals of copper sulfate in a dry boiling tube. See, the color of copper sulfate is blue. Copper sulfate crystals are having blue color. We have to take those copper sulfate in a test tube and heat in boiling tube, and we have to provide heat to it. What is the color of copper sulfate after heating? See, after heating, the color of copper sulfate, blue color, become colorless or it turns white from blue. Do you notice water droplets in the boiling tube? Where have these come from? And yes, you can see the water droplets in the boiling tube, and these water droplets are there in the copper sulfate crystals. See, copper sulfate crystals, which seems to be dry, which appears as a dry, it contains the water of crystallization. On heating the copper sulfate crystals, these water molecules are removed from the crystal and appear in the boiling tube. So those water droplets was there in the crystal only, in the crystal of copper sulfate only. Add 2-3 drops of water on the sample of copper sulfate obtained after heating. Now add 2-3 drop of water to that white crystals. What do you observe? Is the blue color of copper sulfate restored? Yes. When you will add 2-3 drops of water to that boiling tube, that white crystals will again turn to the blue because of addition of water. That salts will get their water of crystallization and it will restore its blue color. 3. Copper sulfate crystal which seems to be dry contain water of crystallization. If you moisten the crystals again with water, you will find the blue color of the crystal reappears. Water of crystallization is fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of salt. So what is water of crystallization? It is fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of the salt. Here copper sulfate is having 5 water molecules as water of crystallization. So it is pentahydrated CuSO4.5H2O. These 5 water molecules are the water of crystallization which are present in the copper sulfate crystals. Also we can see iron sulfate crystal FeSO4.7H2O. Here these 7 water molecules are the water of crystallization. One more salt is there which is having this water of crystallization, that is gypsum. It has 2 water molecules as water of crystallization. It has the formula CaSO4 2H2O. This is the formula of gypsum. Now we'll see the uses of this salt. See, plaster of Paris. On heating gypsum at 373 Kelvin, it loses water molecule and becomes calcium sulfate hemihydrated. So gypsum is what? Calcium sulfate dihydrated. Gypsum is the calcium sulfate dihydrated. When we will provide heat to this, it will lose 1.5 water molecule and it become calcium sulfate hemihydrated, and this is called as plaster of Paris. The substance which doctor use as plaster for supporting fractured bones in the right position. Plaster of Paris is a white powder and on mixing with water it changes to gypsum, once again giving hard solid mass. So this plaster of Paris is formed by heating gypsum at 373 Kelvin temperature. It will lose the water molecule and form plaster of Paris. Now we'll see uses of this plaster of Paris. In construction and in plastering the walls, this is used. In orthopedics, it is used for setting fractured bones. In making cast of dentistry, in making idols, in making chalks for writing on the blackboard. In laboratory, it is applied as plaster for making apparatus airtight. So this is about the salt gypsum, which contains 2 water molecules. When it is heated at 373 Kelvin, it becomes plaster of Paris, and when this plaster of Paris is mixed with water, it will again form gypsum, that is CaSO4 2H2O. Here half water molecule in plaster of Paris is shown to be attached as water of crystallization. Actually it is written in the form because 2 formula units of calcium sulfate share 1 molecule of water. 2CaSO4 dot 2H2O. When it is heated at 373 Kelvin, it forms 2CaSO4 calcium sulfate dot H2O, means 2 molecules of calcium sulfate holds 1 water molecule, because practically it is not possible that it will hold half water molecule. So note that only half of water molecule is shown to be attached as water of crystallization, but it is written in this form because 2 formula unit of calcium sulfate holds 1 molecule of water. Plaster of Paris is used for making toys, materials for decoration, for making surface smooth. So all these are different uses of plaster of Paris. Student, with this we have completed our lesson number 2. As I told you, you have to remember all the chemical properties of acids and base, all the salts, their preparation and their uses. Thank you and have a nice day.